Very good morning, student. Welcome to our physics class. Today's topic is force between two long parallel current carrying conductors. Force between two long parallel current carrying conductors. When the force passing through the two long parallel current carrying conductors, what happened? Now, let me discuss about this concept. Two long straight parallel current carrying conductors. This is the two long straight parallel current carrying conductors separated by a distance r are kept in air medium. Let I1 and I2 be the electric current passing through the conductors A and conductors B in same direction. That means along the x-axis. Here this is a x along the z-axis. Sorry, this current along the passing along the z direction, because this direction is considered as a x-axis. This is y-axis. Here this line indicated z direction respectively. Net magnetic field at a distance or here net magnetic field at a distance or due to the current I1 in conductor A is. So the magnetic field formed due to the current I1. Already we know the formula. B1 vector is equal to mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r minus I cap. This minus I cap is indicated the vector notation, that is the direction of the magnetic field, because already we know the concept according to the Lorentz force. The current and magnetic field always perpendicular to each other. That is why we can by the Lenz law we put this minus sign, minus mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r into I cap. The next, from thumb rule, already we know the thumb rule, the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper and inwards. The direction of the magnetic field, this direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular. This is perpendicular direction, perpendicular. Here this is the inward direction. This arrow mark is nothing but inward inward direction. So that is along the negative I cap direction. This is the inward, means this is the anti-clockwise. So inward means that is an along negative direction, I cap direction. Let us consider small element of the length. Here let me consider this conductor in a small element of length. Already we know the concept. First of all, we should calculate is the small element current and magnetic field. That is why let us consider a small element length dl in conductor B. Already we know the symbol of magnetic field. B is the symbol of magnetic field. So dl in conductor, that is a small element dl in a conductor B at which the magnetic field B1 vector is present. From the equation 3.65, Lorentz force on the element dl of the conductor B is. So what is the formula for the Lorentz force? F is equal to BIL. Already we know the formula for the Lorentz force. F is equal to BIL. Here we should use this Lorentz force formula. dF vector is equal to I2 dl vector into B1, because B1 magnetic field formed due to the I2 current. So when the current I2 passing through the conductor B, which is produce the magnetic force, this magnetic force is acting on the conductor A. So the magnetic field B1 due to the current I2. So listen carefully, children. The magnetic field formed in the conductor A. This is due to when the current passing through the I2 current passing through the conductor B. This current produces some amount of magnetic force. This force acting on the conductor A. That is why the magnetic field B1 formed in the conductor A due to the current I2. That is why the formula can be written as dF vector is equal to I2 current into small element length dl vector into magnetic field formed due to the I2 current only B1 vector. So already we know the formula for the Lorentz force. F is equal to BIL. Here I is nothing but I2, L is nothing but small element dl, and B1 magnetic field vector is equal to, already we know the concept uh, of the B1 vector. What is the value of B1 from the last formula? B1 vector is equal to mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r into minus I1 cap is equal to minus mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r into I cap. Here substituting the value of B1 vector. So minus I2 dl mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r into k cap cross I cap. Now the equation can be written as minus mu naught I1 and I2 dl into j cap divided by 2 pi r, because I cap k cap cross I cap can be written as j cap. So minus mu naught I1 I2 dl divided by 2 pi r into j cap. Now therefore the force on dl, that means small element dl of the wire B is directed towards the wire W1. From this diagram, with this help of this diagram, force on dl, small element length of the wire B is directed towards the wire W1. So the length dl is attracted towards the conductor A. The force per unit length of the conductor B due to the wire conductor A is, force per unit length means force divided by L is equal to minus mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi r into j cap. In the same manner, we compute the magnitude of the net magnetic induction due to the current I2 in conductor A at a distance r in an element length dl of the conductor A is B2 vector is equal to mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi r into I cap. From the thumb rule, direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Now this is an outward direction. This is outward direction. So that is along the positive I direction. So last point indicated, this is the inward direction. The current from the thumb rule, the direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper and inward direction for the conductor A. Here this is the outward direction. Here outward directions, the plane of the paper, the outward direction arrow along the positive I cap direction. So hence the magnetic force at element dl of the wire is W1 is F is equal to I1 dl vector into B2 magnetic field vector, because conductor B experience the magnetic field due to the current I1. So when the current passing through the I1 current passing through the conductor A, which is produce the magnetic force acting on the conductor B. So this magnetic field force, all the magnetic lines of field of force acting on the conductor B. So that is why the magnetic field B2, that is the conductor B2 magnetic field due to the current I1. So therefore the equation can be written as F vector is equal to I1 into dl vector cross B2 vector is equal to, what is the formula for the B2? B2 is nothing but mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi r into I cap. Just substituting the value B2, we obtained I1 dl into mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi r into k cap cross I cap. So k cap cross I cap is nothing but j cap. So the equation can be written as mu naught I1 I2 dl divided by 2 pi r into j cap. Therefore, the force on dl of the conductor A is directed towards the conductor B. Here, the force on dl of the conductor A is directed towards to the conductor B. So, the length dl is attracted towards the conductor B, as shown in the figure. The force per unit length, here also we calculate the force per unit length of the conductor A due to the conductor B is force per unit length. That means F vector divided by L is equal to minus mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi r into J cap. Current in the same direction. Here this is the diagram. So we can easily understand this concept. Current passing through the same direction. The magnetic field form in this direction. So when the current passing through the same direction means both the conductor A and B attract to each other. So two long parallel conductors carrying current in the same direction experience an attractive force. Please note it down, children. Experience an attractive force. The next, thus the force experienced by two parallel current carrying conductor is attractive. Just note it down, children, because this is very important point for your objective type question also. The force experienced by two parallel current carrying conductors is attractive if the direction of electric current passing through them is the same as shown in the figure. Here, attractive to each other. The last diagram indicate attract to each other. If suppose when the current passing through the conductor in opposite direction, opposite direction means the force experienced by two parallel current carrying conductor is repulsive if the current carrying in the opposite direction. So repulsive force acting between the two conductor, because the current passing through the two conductor in opposite direction. Current in the opposite direction means both the conductor experience a repulsive force. So this is also very important point. The next important 2 mark question, definition of ampere. What is the definition of ampere? 1 ampere is defined as that current when it is passed through each of the two infinitely long parallel state conductors kept at a distance of 1 meter apart in vacuum causes each conductors to experience a force of 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter length of the conductor. So simply says when two parallel carrying parallel state conductors kept at a distance, how much amount of distance? Kept at a 1 meter apart distance. This is very important thing. 1 meter apart a distance in vacuum, each conductor experience a force to maybe the attractive force or repulsive force. Each conductor experience a force of 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter length of the conductor is the definition of ampere. Very important. Once again repeat. Current when it is passed through the each of the two infinitely long parallel straight conductors kept at a distance of 1 meter. So this is the condition. 1 meter apart in vacuum causes each conductor to experience a force of 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter length of conductor. So this is very, very important definition. Thank you. The next topic is moving coil galvanometer. The topic says moving coil galvanometer. What is meant by galvan? What is the uses of galvanometer? Galvanometer is the device used to which is used to indicate the flow of current in an electrical circuit. So, moving coil galvanometer is a device which is used to indicate the flow of current in an electrical circuit. So, what is the principle of moving coil galvanometer? When a current carrying loop is placed in a uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque. Then construction. So what are the parts in moving coil galvanometer? Moving coil galvanometer consists of rectangular coil PQRS of insulated thin copper wire. So moving coil galvanometer consists of a rectangular coil PQRS of insulated thin copper wire. The coil contains a large number of turns wound over a light metallic frame. A cylindrical soft iron core is placed symmetrically inside the coil. The rectangular coil is suspended freely between two pole pieces of the horseshoe magnet. So this is the rectangular coil here, which is placed in between the two powerful horseshoe magnet. This is the pointer needle which is attached to the coil. So rectangular coil is suspended freely between two pole pieces of the horseshoe magnet. The upper end of the rectangular coil is attached with one end of the fine strip of phosphor bronze, and the lower end of the coil is connected to a air spring which is also made up of phosphor bronze. So in a fine suspension strip here, in fine suspension strip W, a small plane mirror is attached in order to measure the deflection of the coil with the help of the lamp and scale arrangement. This is a scale arrangement. The other end of the mirror is connected to a torsion head T. In order to pass electric current through the galvanometer, the suspension strip W and the strip S are connected to terminals. Then working. Consider the single turn of the rectangular coil PQRS. This is a rectangular coil PQR and S. Length and breadth B. Length L and breadth B. PQ is equal to RS is equal to L. Here PQ and RS is equal to the length of the rectangular coil. The next QR and SP is equal to breadth. So here this QR and PS is the breadth of the rectangular coil. Let I be the electric current flowing through the rectangular coil PQRS. The horseshoe magnet has hemispherical magnetic. This is hemispherical magnetic horseshoe magnet poles which produce the radial magnetic field. Here this horseshoe magnet which is produce radial magnetic field because this is a circular form of the shape of magnet, that is the hemispherical magnet which is produce the magnetic lines of force. Means when the line join from the center to this curved surface, means it is called as a radial magnetic field. This line is indicated the radial magnetic field. Then due to this radial field, the side QR, here this is this side QR and SP and SP are always parallel to the magnetic field. So QR and SP always parallel to the magnet because magnetic field acting this direction, along this direction. So PS and QR side also acting along the same direction, placed in the same direction. That is why parallel to the magnetic field and experience no force, because when the charge moving in a QR side and PS side means in the rectangular coil, the charges and the magnetic lines of force acting in the same direction, according to the magnetic Lorentz force, the charge, it does not experience any kinds of magnetic force because charge moving in along the or parallel to the magnetic field. Parallel or anti-parallel to the magnetic field means net force is 0. So that is why PS side and QR side experience a 0 force. That means no force. The side PQ and RS is the perpendicular to the magnetic field. So that is why the charge experience the maximum force along the PQ and the RS direction. That is why the side PQ and RS are always parallel to the magnetic field and experience of force, and due to this torque is produced. Torque is produced. So side PQ and RS is always perpendicular to the magnetic field. Here the one mistake in your textbook. Perpendicular to the magnetic field and experience of force, due to this torque is produced. The next topic is force single turn. So now let me calculate the force in the single turn of the coil of rectangular shape. The deflection couple as shown in, already we know the formula for the torque. Torque means force into perpendicular distance. Force into perpendicular distance. Here from the Lorentz force, what is the value of force? Force is nothing but BIL. So just to substitute the value of force BIL. So tau is equal to force into perpendicular distance, force F, perpendicular distance B, that means breadth, B into what is the value of force? BIL. So here length into breadth is nothing but area of the rectangle. So LB into BI. LB can be written as A. A means area of the coil, length into breadth, ABI. For coil with N turns, we get N turns means we get tau is equal to NABI. NABI. Due to this deflecting torque, the coil gets twisted and restoring torque, also known as restoring couple. So when the charge flowing in the rectangular coil, which is experiences the force in a PQ and RS directions, so automatically the coil rotated. So that is the deflected due to the torque. So due to this deflection torque, the coil gets twisted and restoring torque, also known as restoring couple, is developed. Hence the magnitude of restoring couple is proportional to the amount of twist theta. So here very carefully, listen carefully. The magnitude of restoring couple is proportional to the amount of the twist theta. Refer unit 10 of a standard 11th physics. Thus tau is equal to k into theta. That means the theta is nothing but twisted, amount of twist. K is the restoring couple constant. So K is the restoring couple per unit twist or torsional constant of the spring. At equilibrium, the deflection couple is equal to the restoring couple. So therefore, by comparing equation 3.69 and 3.70, we get, so comparing these two equations, tau is equal to NABI, here tau is equal to K theta. So left hand side are equal means right hand side also equal. Both the right hand side are also equal. So that is why NABI is equal to K theta. Let me rearrange this equation. We obtained I is equal to K divided by NAB into theta. Here I is equal to G into theta. G means K divided by NAB is called galvanometer constant, or K means constant for restoring couple constant. Then N is the number of turns also constant. Area of the rectangular coil also constant. Magnetic field also constant. So deflection only changes. That is why K divided by NAB can be written as capital G. Capital G is the galvanometer constant or current reduction factor of the galvanometer. Since a suspended moving coil galvanometer is very sensitivity, we have to handle with high care while during experiments. Most of the galvanometer we use are pointer type moving coil galvanometer. So very important point is figure of merit of a galvanometer. It is defined as the current which is produce a deflection of one scale division in the galvanometer. Then this top point is very important. Sensitivity of a galvanometer. Sensitivity of galvanometer is nothing but very small current passing through the galvanometer means which is produce large deflection. That is a sensitivity of a galvanometer. The galvanometer is said to be sensitive if it shows large deflection even though a small current is passed through it or a small voltage is applied across it. The next, current sensitivity, it is defined as deflection produced per unit current flowing through it. So from this topic we can write one equation. IS means sensitivity, current sensitivity. IS is represent current sensitivity. Theta divided by I. So proportional of deflection and current. Very small current passing through the circuit means which is produce large deflection. That is why equation written as theta divided by I. Already we know the formula for the I. I is nothing but k theta divided by NBA. Just substituting the I value. Here this is NAB divided by K because theta cancel. NAB divided by K is equal to IS is equal to is nothing but NAB divided by K is nothing but G, capital G, that is a galvanometer constant. So IS is equal to 1 by G. The next very important point, student, very important topic also, please note it down. This is a very important 2 mark or objective type question. The current sensitivity of a galvanometer can be increased. The current sensitivity of galvanometer can be increased by increasing, first point is by increasing the number of turns, capital N, by increasing the magnetic induction, capital B, by increasing the area of the coil, capital A. The next, by decreasing this current sensitivity means the current sensitivity of galvanometer can be increased by decreasing the couple per unit twist of the suspension wire K. Phosphor bronze wire is used as a suspension wire because the couple per unit twist is very small. Voltage sensitivity, this is also very important topic. Voltage only, it is defined as the deflection produced per unit voltage applied across it. So Vs divided is equal to theta divided by V. Already Is is equal to theta divided by I. Here Vs is equal to theta divided by V. According to the Ohm's law, what is the formula for the V? V is equal to IR. So here IRG, that is a galvanometer resistance. Vs means sensitivity, voltage sensitivity is equal to theta divided by V can be written as IRG is equal to, already we know the formula for the I. I is nothing but K divided by NAB into theta. Here divided I means this term it will automatically in a inverse step. Here this is substituting the I value NAB divided by K into RG. So Vs is equal to 1 by NAB divided by K is nothing but 1 by G. So just substituting Vs is equal to 1 by capital G RG is equal to Is divided by RG because 1 by G is nothing but Is. 1 by Is. So Is divided by Rg is nothing but V is equal to I by R from the Ohm's law. So that is why Vs is equal to Is divided by Rg. Here Rg is the resistance of a galvanometer. Thank you, student. Once again repeat the concept of current sensitivity of a galvanometer can be increased by increasing number of turns n, by increasing the magnetic induction B, by increasing the area of the coil A, by decreasing the couple per unit twist of the suspension wire K. Phosphor bronze wire is used as a suspension wire because the couple per unit twist is very small. Then next definition, voltage sensitivity means it is defined as the deflection produced per unit voltage applied across the 8. So this is very important point. Thank you very much.